Good day, my people. Good day to all. Thank you for joining us today on the episode 15 of our 60 minutes marathon on Biafran issues. For those joining us for the first time, this is Miro African Television welcoming you to our show for today. On this platform, we are deliberating, racking and scratching our brain the best way to handle the issue of Biafra so that there will be no pain nor loss of life. Welcome to our show. Welcome to Miro African Television. And please welcome our brother, Barrister EMEKA EMEKESIRI. Barrister, please welcome.
Thank you, my brothers and sisters. My name is EMEKA EMEKESIRI. I'm your brother. I'm a Biafran activist. I'm a lawyer. Maybe you know me, or maybe some of you have heard about me. I'm happy to be with you, and I'm also glad that you are with us. So I plead with you to be patient and to be attentive and derive as much information as you can get tonight, because information is very important. Knowledge is very important. Knowledge actually makes a man what he ought to be. That is when you use the knowledge in the proper way. Even as the scripture says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So you can see that knowledge is very, very important. And how you apply the knowledge is also important. We have said that wisdom is the right application of knowledge. So I enjoin all of you to be attentive and also to participate. This is a program of teaching and interaction, so that you can also call in and make your suggestions and make your opinion and make your voice be heard. Every person has the opportunity. So you're welcome as we proceed. I believe that all of us will be enriched. Thank you very much for joining us today. You're welcome. God bless you.
God bless you, Barrister. Thank you for joining us today. Barrister, the first topic that I would like to chip in, or before I will continue, let me first of all thank those that are giving a little support to make sure that this agenda that we have will be successful. Thank you very much for things that we are sending in. Most of the ones that have been transferred to the account have reflected today. Thank you for that. So, Barrister, if I may ask you something about this Biafra thing, when did, will I use the word Biafra Reloaded started?
What do you mean by Biafra Reloaded?
Because there was a Biafran and there was Biafran War, and after that it get mute, and later there is Biafra Reloaded.
Okay, there was the first Biafra. Okay, which one do we even call the first Biafra?
Biafra, Ojukwu started Biafra.
No, not at all. The first Biafra was this map, because when I was studying to enter into this Biafra struggle, I got the ancient map of Biafra from 1492 AD, from 1492 to 1729. That is 500 years before Nigeria was created. So
from
1492 to 1729. This is the ancient map of Biafra. In this ancient map, there's no Nigeria, but this map was not map of 1707. Map of 1707. So you have map of 1492, map of 1660, map of 1707, and so on. This is an ancient map of Biafra before Nigeria was created in 1914. So, but this particular Biafra was destroyed. The ancient map of Biafra was destroyed during the Berlin Conference, when maybe the students, you have heard about Scramble for Africa.
Yes.
Good. So that Berlin Conference was when they shared Africa into pieces and divided Africa. They now, some of, all the ancient maps of the nations in Africa were destroyed. Some of the Biafrans were carved into the new country called Nigeria because they created some new countries. So some of us were carved into Nigeria, and some of us were carved into Cameroon, some were carved into Gabon, some were carved into Equatorial Guinea, some were carved, to different places. As at that time, 1660 or 1707, there were 3 regions or 3 nations. Around this place, you now have the present Nigeria. Those 3 nations were the Kingdom of Zamfara in the north. See this Zamfara you are hearing about?
Yes.
It was a neighbor to Biafra in those days. In 1660, 1707, there was a Kingdom of Zamfara in the north. There was a Kingdom of Biafra in the east. And there was a Kingdom of Benin in the west. As at that time, 1660, there was no Oduduwa Kingdom at that time.
Okay.
So, yeah, there was none. But the history of Oduduwa and Benin is a different thing. Maybe we'll say it another day. But but this map I'm talking about, that ancient map, there were only 3 regions: Kingdom of Zamfara in the north, Kingdom of Biafra in the east, and Kingdom of Benin in the west. And then Benin and Biafra had the southern border bordered by the ocean. So you now have Bight of Benin and Bight of Biafra. A bight is like ocean mouth, or what they call Onuyi, Onumi.
Yeah.
That is a river mouth, or the or jetty, like jetty. Like we had. So the Biafra had the Bight of Biafra, and Benin had Bight of Benin. These were the 3 regions from where they now carved out a country called Nigeria. These 3 regions were around the Niger area, remember?
Yes.
So that's from where they carved out the new country called Nigeria. And when they carved it out, they didn't take the whole Biafra into Nigeria. They didn't take the whole Zamfara into Nigeria. They didn't take the whole Benin into Nigeria. Rather, some people from Zamfara, they left them outside Nigeria. They're now in the countries called Niger Republic or Chad. Those people were in the ancient map of Zamfara Kingdom. So
Okay.
so the Biafran Kingdom also, they carved some of us into the new country called Nigeria, and left some in the present Cameroon, some part of southern Cameroon, some part of Gabon, some part of Equatorial Guinea. Now, those in Benin Kingdom, they carved some into the Nigeria and left some outside in the countries they call Dahomey, which is now called Benin Republic. Dahomey and so much. So those people were in the ancient map of Benin Kingdom. So they now created this new country called Nigeria. So that is where we have found ourselves now. So the Biafra of the one Ojukwu created was not a new country, but an attempt to revive the ancient country of Biafra. So I understand that when they were thinking of the name to choose for the country, it was Chief Franco Pigo of Brass in the present Bayelsa state that suggested that they should use the ancient name of their ancestors, Biafra. So even the name of Biafra was given, was brought up, suggested by an Ijaw man when they knew the second Biafra was rising up. That was 1967. So at the end of that 1970, Biafra as a country, as a nation, as a country, not as a nation, there's a difference between a country and a nation. I will explain. So there, as a country, that's as an independent country, ceased to exist, or as a sovereign nation ceased to exist in 1970. But a nation is different from a nation state.
Okay.
A nation is different from a nation state. In modern terminology, we use a nation state to mean a sovereign country. Why we use the word nation to mean a people of the same descent, like Biafrans.
Yeah.
We are a nation. The Yoruba, they are a nation, and so on. The Hausa or the Fulani, these are nations. So Nigeria is like a country of many nations. But we are not a nation state yet. That Biafrans are a nation, but not a nation state, because we are not yet sovereign. We lost our sovereignty in 1970 when we surrendered our sovereignty. So what did we surrender in 1970? We surrendered our sovereignty, but not our identity as a nation. We are still a nation, but we lost our sovereignty. So Biafra is still alive. What we lost was our sovereignty, but not our identity as a nation. Okay, so in 1999, Raf Owazirike started agitation to regain the sovereignty of Biafra.
That means if we are calling on Republic, we will say that that was the third Republic of Biafra.
Well, we are trying to okay, we are trying to restore. That's
Yes.
what people talk about, actualization of Biafra or restoration of Biafra. I think I like to use the word restoration, because Biafra has been there. We want to restore the sovereignty of Biafra. So we are a nation.
Yeah, Barrister, let me ask you, before Nigeria conquered Biafra, how long did that Biafran nation existed?
I don't accept that Nigeria conquered Biafra. You know why?
Tell me.
In a war, you know, if you know how that war ended, you know that really that pronouncement of no victor, no vanquished was correct. Because I interviewed the actors in the war, especially Brigadier General Joe Achuzie. He told me how the war ended and how the actors on both sides, how they ended the war. And I picked something from it. I concluded that it was actually a ceasefire, or it was actually a kind of peace, a peace arrangement where two warring friendly nations decided to lay down their arms and embrace peace.
Okay, they froze the war.
So what he told me, that when they saw that both sides actually saw that this war had come to an end, that no party actually had capacity to continue this war anymore, then they decided, the Biafran leaders decided to end the war on their terms, on their own terms. The federal government of Nigeria did not dictate to them the terms of surrender. They themselves wrote the terms of surrender, said that if the Republic of Biafra now ceases to exist. And then when they now agreed, both parties agreed to stop the war, and both parties went home with their arms and ammunition. That is, in other words, Biafrans went home with their arms and ammunition. Nigerians went home with their arms and ammunition. That is not a surrender, because if you conquer your opponent should surrender his arms to you.
Yes, yes.
But that wasn't done. But it was just a peaceful kind of settlement. Okay, let's stop. It's enough. No victor, no vanquished. Every person go back to your house. You can see how it ended, in a peaceful, friendly way. That was why that verdict of no victor, no vanquished is actually correct.
But did they sign any accord?
Yeah, there was an instrument now they signed. That instrument of surrender that I'm talking about says that the sovereignty, that is the Republic of Biafra, ceases to exist. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that what we surrendered was the sovereignty.
Okay.
The sovereignty is what we surrendered, but not our identity as a nation. They did not assimilate us and destroy our identity. No, we are still Biafrans. but living in Nigeria. It's like we surrendered our sovereignty to Nigeria.
And if we put into calculation, since we have been fighting to restore back our republic,
Oh, yes.
how many souls do you think that Biafran have offered in this struggle?
Wow.
Example or
Yes.
estimate.
Okay, the first war of 1967 to 1970, the estimate is 3 million, right?
I thought that they said that it's 6 million.
No, it's 3 million.
Okay.
Who says 6 million? The estimate is 3 million.
Okay.
And from that time, when Wazirike started 1999, before now, I have a record. What I have here now, I have record of the list of those killed between 2000 and 2008. And I want to thank Wazirike Masob group for having documentation, because I have been asking all these pro-Biafran groups, you are not documenting, there is no record of what you are doing, and I'm not really happy about that. When I joined the struggle, I asked that question, and many people, they don't have records, and that is bad. So, but I'm happy that I was able to get this published by Masop. It was in 2008. I actually kept this because at that time I was writing this book, because remember I told you it was in 2007 that I went to Kefi prison to advocate for the release of Wazirike. From there I went to the Federal High Court Abuja with Chief Chimeze Ikazo Oboli of Bosi, the Oboli of Obosi, who led us when we appeared before Justice Bintanyako to for the release of Wazirike, and we planned on how to use the legal method. That time in 2007, I planned this with Oboli of Obosi, that is Chief Ikazo, Chimeze Ikazo. Was when we planned this thing. And then we wanted the retired chief judge, then that is Justice Chukudifo Puta. We actually planned that he will head the work, which is actually what Justice Ezozobo is doing now.
Okay. Okay.
Which is actually what Justice Ezozobo is doing now. That's because that what we planned that time. Unfortunately, Chief Chimezi Ikazo died. He got ill, and Justice Chukudifo Puta also left us. The people that we, anyway, it's a long story, but that vision remained with me. When Wazirike rejected us, he rejected us and said he didn't want us to enter the struggle. He didn't want us to join him. Well, we left everything, which now, by the time I relocated to London, I repackaged it again, and now we are on again. So Wazirike did a lot of work.
Okay.
He did a lot of work. Yes, I don't blame him. I will not condemn him. He did as much as he could. So I have had people condemning him, abusing him. Or
yeah, because of the attitude. I watched him last week or some days ago, dictating, telling people on, one thing, we don't want Nigeria, but we still carry Nigeria method of life, dictating for people, telling people on what to do. You are not the most wisest man. You have not treated the issue harming the people of the Biafrans, but they are telling them the only matter that matters most in their head is election.
Okay, now listen what I'm saying. I said in his activism in the Biafran struggle, the much he did, the extent he went.
Yeah.
I said I thank him for the extent he has gone.
The work he did by organizing and
he started. He revived that agitation in 1999 when every person was afraid to talk about Biafra. He revived it and suffered for it and went to prison and was persecuted. Many things that went. I don't know what transpired along the line, but I see that he has done his part by starting the race. He trained up some of you people who started this struggle before me. Sometimes I see myself like a late comer, that I came late.
I
sometimes.
was in Nigeria, I was in Lagos, and when he was agitating, I see him as a 419er from day one.
Okay,
I will not lie to
that's
you, you
okay,
know.
fine. If you see him as a 419er, that may be your perspective of him. You see, I don't want to be hard on people. Well, maybe because of my background, being a pastor, the Bible says, speak evil of no man. So I don't speak evil of people, but I can speak on issues. I don't attack human beings, but I attack issues.
Yeah,
If you
that's how I see it. Then, you know,
okay,
that's how I
fine.
see it.
Yes, you have right to see that way. Just like some people call, even now, some people call me criminals. They call me bad names because of this Biafra struggle. So maybe that's how they see me, and maybe that's how you have seen Owazike. It may be what you are saying is correct, but I am not in a position to judge any human being. God will judge. But when I see an issue or your policy or your methodology and it's not working, I can kick against it. So I can argue and attack issues, but I don't attack persons.
Barrister, for example, now here in German, even though two German people are pursuing to one thing, but from different dimension, along the line, one get hurt. The other one would never be happy about that because people have died. And those people are the same people you want to draw out of Nigeria to rule. You understand? You know, this Biafran struggle, I'm seeing it in this Owazirike kingdom. These guys doesn't know what they want. They doesn't know what they want, and they doesn't even know the gravity of what they are trying to pull. You know? And they don't even value the life of their normal citizens. And that is the Nigerian way of life.
Okay, now listen. When Wazika started, he started with confrontations, confronting the authorities. And they were always fighting. The police will always be killing them and shooting them. Confrontations. They will go and block roads. They can block this and just causing confrontations. Protests, street protests.
Yes.
Just the same thing Nnamdi Kanu is doing. That exactly because Nnamdi learned from Owazirike, who of course was his master. So just protests. But what happened? Nnamdi now went further, higher, maybe using the media, the radio power, media power, to have more influence and more followership. But it's the same strategy of protesting on the streets and having confrontation with the police or the army. Now, Nigeria is a terrain where many things can go wrong, and the army or the police or all the officers or even the government officers may not be disciplined enough to control their emotions. They may be provoked into killing people only to say, I'm sorry, we are sorry, and that is the end. So we lost a lot of people. Here, they published list of the people that were killed. See the list of the people that were killed from year 2000 to 2008. The list of all the people that were killed from 2000 to 2008. I have the list here.
Did they write the total sum of the people?
Yeah, the total sum of comprehensive list of 2,028 members killed between year 2000 and year 2008. Between year 2000 and year 2008, 2,028 people were killed under Owazirike. That was between 2000 and 2008. But the killing continued even after 2008. The killings continued up to the time Nnamdi Kanu now entered the same protesting strategy, using the
even adding the people being killed in Anambra State, in a Eju River, and the ones they just did recently, and the one they are killing in River State. We may say that roughly under Nnamdi Kanu regime, Nigerian government have memored up to 5,000.
We don't know now, but this one under was
rough estimate.
Okay, are you calculating both Owazirike and Nnamdi?
I cannot calculate. That's only under Nnamdi Kanu.
So you mean Nnamdi has
From
Nnamdi
Anambra
Kanu,
State.
yes.
From Anambra State to Port Harcourt, all the whole killings going around because of the agitation and those disappearing is up to
Okay, you think it's
5,000.
about 5,000 under Nnamdi Kanu?
Yes.
Then under Wazirike, maybe because Wazirike recorded up to, from this one recorded up to 2008. So from 2009, 2010 up to, I don't know what Masob has lost now, and but at least they have record. Since they have record up to this, and maybe they still have record from 2009 to the present day. But I don't know whether Nnamdi Kanu's group, whether they have record of their own members that have been killed up to this. So your estimate, I can't say no or yes.
Yes. The only thing that we can do from this platform is all those people back home. If you people will be able to put in writing,
document all these things. Document, yes.
Those missing. Those missing means the ones that the military carry their body and dispose them wherever they like.
Yes.
Those being seen and everything should be documented. In Umuahia, how many boys have fallen? In Aba, how many guys has fallen? And the other part of Biafra land, Port Harcourt, Calabar, all those areas. How many people has fallen? So that we'll be able to make rough estimate.
Yeah, we need to be properly organized. We need to be properly organized, and that's actually a good point, that every one of us should be in the database, in the Biafran database. And the anchorman, our moderator, maybe will talk more about our database. The United Nations wants the Biafrans to have their database, and we have set up one. We don't want loss of lives anymore. We don't want people to die again. We have died enough. We have died enough. And we have to be properly organized so that we can give account. If any person dies, we can now say, so person has died, and look at what killed him. We must be properly organized to be able to give account. That accountability doesn't only mean money. Accountability means you can also give account of your followers, those that are following you, what has happened to them. So you can actually give account of their life, of what happened to them. So it's not right that a leader cannot really know the welfare or well-being of his followers. That is wrong. That's why we must be properly organized. So this third, I would like to say it is the third phase of trying to restore Biafra now. I think that's why we are number 3 phase. And I'm saying that this phase, please, we have died enough. I want us, instead of saying Biafra or death, let us say Biafra and life. Because the Bible says we shall not die but live to declare the works of God in the land of Biafra. So let us be alive to declare the goodness of God, to declare the works of God in Biafra land. We can get this thing. You don't need to kill, don't need to provoke the army or soldier into killing you. We can get this thing done, and we have started. When I entered the struggle, I boasted that no member from me will die. Nobody will die. Nobody will die. Any person that is following me in this due process will never die. You will not die. Nothing will happen to you, and no army or police can arrest you. I have said it. If you are with me in this legal methodology, no police can arrest you, no army can arrest you, nobody can kill you. Listen.
But we don't have law in that country telling that police and army will not arrest you. They can betray you tomorrow.
Okay, now listen, let me give you an example. There was a day the police went to, then we had our office at 90 Wedra Road. Now, if you go to 90 Wedra, you see Office of Indigenous People of Biafra. There was a signboard I designed when I filed this case. Office of Indigenous People of Biafra. I designed that signboard. Before I mounted that signboard, I issued legal notices both to the federal government, Inspector General of Police, the President of Nigeria, the Director of DSS, all of them, I issued legal notices, filed the documentations in court, and then established the office for Biafra at 90 Wedra Road then. Now, I made the Nigerian governments to know that Biafrans have set their office physical address at 90 Wedra Road. Now, we are Biafrans living in Nigeria, and this is our office where we receive our letters or summons from the court. So while we come to Abuja Asorok to serve you your own papers, you come to 90 Wedra Road and serve us our own papers. Two nations are in court. I went and did it myself, served them. And they respected us. From Asorok, they will send our
what
paper.
you are trying to tell me now, you are trying to defend that there is law existing in that country.
So let me finish now. From Asorok, they will sign their paper and they will bring it to our office, and I will collect, my secretary, they will collect, sign, and pass on to me, and we will send to our own, to Asorok. Sometimes we will send bailiff who will travel from Owerri to Abuja and serve them. When they want to serve us our own paper, they will serve us to our own at 90 Wedra Road. We were all moving. We will be in court. Their lawyer and our lawyer, I will stand for Biafra. They have their own lawyer, Professor Yemi, will stand for the Nigerians, his lawyers will stand for Nigeria, and we will argue, two parties arguing, and after each party will go back to his own office, and we were respecting each other, because judicial immunity covers all the parties that are in court. So now what happened? One day, the police, I think because of when Nnamdi left us and started his method and was into confrontations with the police, do you know the police didn't know the difference between the indigenous people of Biafra? All they know, Office of Indigenous People of Biafra, and that's the name Nnamdi Kanu is using also. So police went to 90 Wedra Road and arrested Engineer Amadi and the officers there, and carried our documents and some of the things. So I was in the office and they called me. I was in London here, and they called me. So look at what's happening. I became angry, and I called the Nigerian authorities. I called the Nigerian authorities. So what? Did you enter the office of the claimants to remove the evidence we want to use against you? Oh, so you entered our office and arrested our officers who are in court with you? Okay, that means you have provoked trouble for yourselves. That I will file a suit of 500 billion against Nigeria government for violating. Imagine, it is contempt of court. So by the time I call them, those big men call the police. Those that were. They say, oh, they didn't know that these are the people that are in court, oh, that they thought these are the people that are causing problems. So quickly they released Engineer Amadi and Daniel, and said, please go. They didn't know. They didn't even ask for shorty or signing of bail. They just said, please go. You know why? Yes. Because when two people are in court, judicial immunity covers both parties. You don't go into the office of a claimant or the plaintiff and interfere with his things while two of you are in court.
But Nnamdi Kanu is in court with Nigeria, and they still boss his house.
Good. So, what I'm saying is this. When the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, who is in court as criminal case, so our own
no
is not
matter what, no matter what.
Yes.
He has a high court immunity.
Hold on. I raised that issue that day, say, I don't know what happened. Because if someone is arrested for a criminal matter, if you are arrested and you're on bail, you cannot be arrested again unless on a different charge. And it is the police that will now come to arrest you for a different thing.
But military come for assassination.
Good. So that's why I'm saying that something must be wrong, which I do not know. Which I do not know. And I don't know whether they came to assassinate him or they came to whatever they came. I don't know what transpired between them. But knowing what Nigeria is, I said it's a dangerous country, a very dangerous terrain, and therefore that's where you operate with wisdom, with tact, with knowledge. You know, things can happen, and I gave you instances where things have happened and it ended there. I always say, use Bola Ige as an example, the #1 lawyer in the country. You know, they killed him, Attorney General of the Federation. They assassinated him, and nothing happened up to today. So now it's something you have to be careful when you are dealing with Nigerian situation. So, but for me, maybe my own is different, because the way I have been conducting my own affairs, I have not had any loss. Nobody has died under me. Nobody has died under me. Nobody has been killed or assassinated under me. And I pray that the Almighty God, who has been protecting me and protecting those who are following me, will continue to protect us, and nobody will die. For we shall not die but live to declare the works of God in Biafra land.
Amen.
Yes, that is it. Those who say Biafra or death, you have made choice. It's either they give you Biafra or they give you death. And if they give you death, it is part of what you have asked for. You can see the mouth. The mouth. The Bible says life and death are in the power of the tongue. Be careful what you say with your mouth. You say you want Biafra or death. Then the opponent will give you one, and he can decide to give you death. But I'm saying Biafra and life. That both of them is what we want. We shall have Biafra and we shall have life.
Amen. Amen, Barrister. On this judicial step that we want to take now by taking Nigeria to court, this human rights issue.
Yes.
If somebody asks you, do you think that we can get something out of it?
Yeah, the human rights issue, there are two things. One, the human rights violation will strengthen our case for independence, for self-determination. You can also claim compensation against Nigerian government for human rights abuse. You can actually, even the death, even someone that is killed, you can also sue for compensation. I give you an example. I am the person who did valuation of the life of a person, of the man they killed in Ogoni. Maybe, so you see, there is something called valuation for compensation for the life of a human being. If someone is killed by accident or even willfully, or was injured by accident or whatever, you can sue for compensation. You can claim compensation for the loss of life or for the injuries you sustained. But Nigeria has been killing people. Nigerian authorities have been killing people and going free because people have not challenged them. Injury that you sustain, you can claim compensation. And some of us know how to do valuation for the life of a human being. And I am the person who invented the formula in Nigeria. It's called EMEKA Formula 5. How to do valuation of the life of any human being that is killed or injured, whether by accident or willfully.
Yeah, Barrister, let me jump in a little.
But I'm not saying that you should go and get killed so that for your father to get compensation.
No.
You shouldn't go kill yourself for your mother to be paid compensation.
Yeah, but when the government of Nigeria, you show the list of 2,280 people being killed under Owazirike's command.
Yes.
If at all, let me start. Maybe 3 million Nigerians may say that they are fighting war. That one is being caused by war.
Yeah.
But after the war, there are also some compensation that normally pays. In other side, under Waziriki is not fighting war, it's not fighting Nigerian government, rather practicing his fundamental human right as a citizen and indigenous people of Biafra.
Yeah.
If at all Nigeria start paying compensation on these 2,000 and something people he killed under the man command,
Yes.
I think it will become too expensive for Nigeria to maintain, and they will start avoiding these killings.
Yeah, you have a point. You have a point, because the evaluation of Mr. Vurasi Lemon of Ogoni, I did evaluation. He was killed by security officers of Shell. So they went to, it is a public knowledge, because his case is suit number PHC/2613/2010. That is suit number PHC/2613/2010. Port Harcourt High Court, Rivers State Judiciary, Port Harcourt. I did the evaluation of the man they killed. When he was killed, I told them not to bury him, because I want to get some evidence before you bury him. So I went and got the evidence I needed before he was buried. Then I used this and did my evaluation calculation of the worth of his life. I did valuation of his life, how much his life was worth. Yes, I can do the valuation of the life of any human being, because I created that formula, EMEKA Formula 5, which the federal Nigerian government has adopted now in the state surveying and valuation profession. All the universities and polytechnics in Nigeria now use EMEKA formula. There are Formula 3, Formula 4, Formula 5, and others. Different things for different purposes. Now, I did valuation of that man, and it was a lot of money, and the Shell couldn't defend themselves, and a lot of things. Well, it's there in court. If you want to know more about it, this case number I just quoted now, you can just go to Port Harcourt High Court, State High Court, Port Harcourt. Go to the judiciary there. Go to the office there. Ask for certified true copies of this case, and they will give it to you. So it's quite expensive. The head of one man is quite expensive. By the time you pay 200 million, 300 million per head, then you will now know how costly it is to pay maybe 300 million per head for 2,000 people. By the time you pay 200 or 300 million, 500 million per head, then you will warn your soldiers not to use the bullet anyhow.
Barrister, what you just mentioned now, if the Biafran people would like to stop the killings in the eastern region, that is the answer. This answer now, Barrister, just solved the mathematics that I'm trying to put together. In the sense that if we support this human rights case that we want to take Nigeria to, if you want the killing in eastern region to stop, this is the answer. Going to United Nations and protest is good, but it's not the perfect. Pointing hand to the governors is good, but it's not the most successful one. The most successful something, let me give you one small story. China on South China Sea. America was threatening China in South China Sea, pushing them around. China says, I am ready to go to war because of South China Sea. I know China, cannot be able to withstand the United States. But looking how things are today, if war breaks out between China and US will win. But under which cost? China will use weapon that costs $100 to destroy something that worth millions of dollars. So if we start charging Nigeria in the essence of what they are doing, then they will start using rubber bullet. They will start using other things.
Rubber bullet.
Yes, they will start using water cannon to displace the masses. But if you sit down there without doing anything on this issue, then you want Nigeria to continue killing your people. What am I not saying? I'm trying to make you to understand that the time you support this legal method, taking Nigeria to human rights court, and Nigeria, as Barrister was saying, $200 million on one person per head. Maybe on United Nations they will not calculate it in euro. It would double. When Nigeria paid from Wazirike to Nnamdi Kanu, it's almost getting to 8,000 that they killed. Even though they tried to put two of them together and make it 5,000, after paying this amount, they will now check the worth of a bullet.
Of a bullet.
And the worth of a rubber bullet.
Exactly. Exactly.
But if you keep quiet, keep on listening, don't participate. Many are participating, but we need to forge ahead. We will not give up. I have a very powerful trust and belief on this legal method of taking Nigeria to court to stop all this. If it's German, they use the word verdammt killing in our area.
Okay. You know what? If we are going to use this thing, evidence is required. Like I told you, when they killed Vurasi Lemon, Bariala Lemon Vurasi, I said, don't bury him. I want to take evidence before you bury him. He properly identified. He was properly identified. I made sure that he was properly identified and what he was doing at the age at which he died, what he was doing before he died, his income, his ability to earn income for his family, what he was pursuing. That boy was to read mechanical engineering, he was to take JAMB. So they just killed him. No.
And these ones they killed now, most of them are engineers, most of them are graduates. You know, they just wasted their lives.
Exactly. So by the time we finished that thing, calculated it, it was a lot of money, And you know, let me give you Miss Uzoma Okere was assaulted by the Navy officers under Navy, General, what did they call themselves? Arogundele in Lagos State sometime. She went to court and sued the Navy. And she was awarded compensation of 100 million naira, and then apologies in 4 national newspapers. So the court slammed the claim against the federal government to pay 100 million naira to Miss Okere, and also tender apologies in 4 national newspapers. Only assault, that is, they beat her, they made her naked and dragged her, you know, because she didn't move out of their way when they were coming with their siren, you know, they were just blowing their siren, and she was driving. They felt that she didn't move out of their way in time. That was why they beat her up. But eventually she went to court, and the court awarded her the claim of 100 million for ordinary assault and battery. Then think of actual death and bodily harm. So imagine ordinary assault and battery, that somebody just beat you and they disgraced you, you were paid 100 million. Then think about where you have lost your head. So yes, but then there must be proper evidence. These people that are being killed, for those that are being killed under Wazirike or under Nnamdi Kanu, what do we know about them? How do we identify them? You know, so that when you go, if you want to take action on human rights of making this claim, remember that your opponent will bring their defense. These names, for instance, they may say, oh, that these names are just cooked up names, and any person can just fill up a record with names. But maybe they have properly documented evidence of their members. So that's what I'm saying. The Biafran movement must be properly organized.
Okay. Oh, Barrister, today we have tried enough. At least, okay, we have a call on the line.
Okay, we can take it.
Hello, the call on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, Zebedee is Chris.
Oh,
Are you online?
yes,
I
I'm
mean,
live. I'm
are you
live.
live?
I'm
Sorry.
live, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I wouldn't know. Actually, I'm going to Inyege information. It go this morning donate to today. What I want.
Wow, wow. Thank you, thank
Okay,
you.
but since we're live, is the barrister as well there too?
He's hearing you.
I'm hearing you, brother Chris. I'm hearing you.
Okay, barrister. Good afternoon, sir.
After my brother, you're welcome.
Very good. How are you doing today?
I'm okay, my brother.
Okay, I thought I was going to talk to Zebedee privately because
Okay, let me
I
close.
just
Let me
started.
close.
A minute, a
Let me
minute.
close
No, don't close yet. No, sir. I just want to take the opportunity to a little, yeah, I'm going the prevailing circumstances. See what I was saying there, and you can see what I started saying to you. What I was everything with the time. I think everything is going systematically as it should. What I was and right now. What I was and I thank God for His arrangements. What I was.
Yes.
So and I'm trusting in God because I know how He does things. What I was. That be it as it may right now, people will begin to listen. They are really listening. People are listening to you.
I know.
To the sermon in a preacher every day. But you wouldn't know that. You get it? And our acceptability will Abraham right now. And yes. One by one, everybody will begin to acknowledge the brilliant move and the gospel, the good news you are preaching. Whatever. I won't get it will only take some time. You need to allow us, allow other people, as you have, allowed me to come to acceptance. Yes. Whatever. So we will be there. Everybody will be there to listen to you because your message now was very well refined. I like the way you are preaching it right now. And you, as you have gotten my heart, you're going to win the heart of every one of us.
Amen.
You get it? There are no two ways. There are no two ways about it. It's just the problem. Or they share not the message from young or they share no yeah. Whatever. So we have our unique ways of listening and speaking as well. Yes. Whatever. So and what you saw yeah. To me, it sounds as if you are talking down on me. Whatever. But yes. To other people, I got here as you are making a message. You are being realistic, okay? And then I got in different ways. So don't worry. I think that believe that in the patient I never. I get it on where I was very graduating. You get it. I get it on where now because Kiri. My word, I'm not going to do. I so Grigimba. Yeah, I want slow and steady in a win race. Exactly. You get it? At the end of the day, yeah, I get win at that race at the end of the day. I just believe it in my heart. Whatever. At least I have to find this is small. Whatever. Before anything. Whatever. Because here they move off for whatever. We just want to leave a legacy behind. Whatever. So it's for the good of our incoming generations. You get it? So I believe as Rotoshanum no Konobi, I wish I have that money in the area right now. I mean, I'm not going to think twice to do it because it's worth doing. You get it? It's just worth doing. You get it? How we doing it? Later, Obina talking email he didn't do to us. You get it? At the end of the day, you know. So I am to appeal to everyone that listens to Zebedee provide this platform that I can where somebody like you they use what I want to educate us on some little things that we think that are common, but that make sense, you know.
Yeah.
And Nnamdi Kanu Agbaliala, just can you, Mazi, can you imagine if this guy has been killed that day? Can you have an now?
It's terrible.
Are you getting what I'm saying? So and that means everything, they're just die like that. So why don't we, you know, I mean, listen to you and see that we can also make a very better impact, because the legality aspect of it is so brilliant, is unique. The structure that you preach about is one of the uniqueness. Now, these things that we're talking about. You get it? Without structure, then where are we going? What are we talking about? You get it? So I don't see it. So I just wish that our people are listening, so that at distance, so that we can start doing something about it as soon as possible. Because every minute that we waste into these things, more people are more of our young boys, which is not good for us.
That's why they say that now all got them calls, Hana damages 2-3 times, then they will take precautions.
Exactly.
You know? We cannot fight them with bullet, rather we will use the instrument not within us.
Yes.
To show them that
Yes,
there are many ways they jail you, you know.
Yes, Brother Chris, thank you for your encouragement. So, in fact, your encouragement is like, in fact, you have, it's like a healing. It's like a healing to a hopeless or frustrated soul. Because in our one day, you know, you, but your words are so encouraging.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Barrister, the only thing I talk what I want mother. And then my mother, it's one mother like this, whatever. I become very, very difficult, whatever. Because I no share to the different from the other person. That's what makes us very unique. I am Gina not in the Malaysia, because that's why I thought let's see what today, but only again BB, I'm a me not the same.
Did you patience patience, okay?
Yes, yes.
But I want carry patience, long suffering. Look like that.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Long suffering. So he switches over to another level of quality.
You know, sometimes I watch you when you intend to explode, whatever, but at some point, somewhere in between, whatever you used to be working here, because nobody said, just with a wire. These people will come to accept you.
Let me see that you were well. If I don't get angry now, God will be angry with me.
That's
don't worry, you're gonna help us to this victory.
Yes,
we're all gonna achieve it, okay?
Yes.
Don't worry. Time will come, this one.
Yes, sir.
Then we will tell you that we've just begun, you know.
I would like to
thank you, sir.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, and I will also thank you again for the support.
Mr. Zebedi, I'm a back, please.
Udo, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah. So my people, I would like to thank all of you, those who are rendering help on this legal procedure. This legal method is the only way we can use to counter Nigeria, you know, and the area that we throw our support behind it is the better it will be in the future, because Nigeria will no longer raise their hand to take lives of people just like that. You know, Nigeria think that they're untouchable because nobody have ever taken them to this level we are going today. Please support us, be with us. And for those in US, somebody made bank transfer to that account from US. It takes only 1 day to arrive. It was just like a rocket, you know. So please try to use the method, either MoneyGram or Western Union, or you make bank transfer directly. The account you are seeing there is the international bank account. Go there, do it. You are doing it for yourself and for the people and for the future of tomorrow. God bless you. Barrister, our time is already sealed.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have any last word that you would like to chip in so that we...
Yes, my brothers and sisters, all the Biafrans, I thank you for listening in, and I encourage you to continue in this legal methodology. And I also remind you to go to the website of the Biafran government, ipobgovernment.org. Go there and please put in your details, because the United Nations wants the database of the Biafrans. United Nations, any moment from now, the Biafran issue will be discussed, because we have filed our documentation, the United Nations, for our referendum process to begin, and they will now begin to talk about it. All these years, no documentation have been sent to the UN, but we have done that. Things have stage by stage. We couldn't have done it before we were admitted into the ECOSOC. It is because we are now in ECOSOC status. That's when we can now present this thing. Everything has procedure, you know. So the United Nations wants the database of the Biafrans. Of course, if you are trying to build a house or trying to lay, you must lay foundation. You must put the structures in place. So please visit the Biafran government website, www.ipobgovernment.org, and put your data in the database. Thank you very much. Make your contributions, make your donations. Anything you are doing it for the Biafrans, for your children and children yet unborn. All these things we are laboring now is for our children, not even for us. So please, let us build for the future of our children. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. God bless you for listening in. Remain blessed, and remain blessed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Barrister, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. So
bless you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye for now.
Dike kan kibu na London, dike kan kibu na Israel, dike kan kibu na Russia, dike kan kibu na India, dike kan kibu na Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, dike kan kibu na Biafra. Nzobu enyimba nzobu enyimba anyị ga-azọgbu ndị ilo enyimba nzobu enyimba ụmụ Igbo niile ebe ka nzọpụta unu dị, olileanya anyị dị n'ọwụwa anyanwụ, nzọpụta anyị dị n'ọwụwa anyanwụ. Mmiri zobe zocha anwụ ga-awa, ikuku kube kucha anwụ ga-awa, urukuku bucha anwụ ga-awa. Biafra ga-adịgide wee ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Biafra ga-adịgide wee ruo mgbe ebighị ebi.